Another episode of the CheckDown, man. I'm your host, Smitty Eagle. I'm here with my co-host, Jay Mick. How you feeling today, bro?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. It's a full, it's a full weekend of football. I mean, it's divisional round weekend, so I mean, it should be some good football, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Hey, man. We'd like to thank y'all, man, for showing up this morning, man. Uh, man, it's gonna be interesting though, man. It's a few good games this week, man. What's the most interesting one for you this weekend, man?
For me, I mean, I think the most interesting one, I mean, for me is like the Lions and the Bucks. Um, and I probably say that because I mean, I think the Lions gonna win, but I just think like they were played before. They played early in the season, like the Lions kind of blew. I think it was like 20-6 or something like that. Tampa Bay playing much better, but they got to go up to that, to Detroit in that Lions nest. So, I mean, I'm expecting a good game out of that one. So,
Um, for me, it's
and how about you?
probably for me, it's probably like the old. Like, look, everybody know I'm a Peyton Manning fan, right? So it's probably like the Chiefs and the Bills, man. Like, it just take me back to those days where I used to watch Peyton Manning and Tom Brady go through it, man. And Peyton always came out on the short end of the stick, but it was always like an exciting game. Like, you'd always turn it on and know like it was gonna be an epic shootout. Like, it was gonna be like no other. Like, so that Chiefs Bill one, like, really gonna have me on the edge of my seat. I don't know, that Texans Ravens one pretty interesting too though. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I kind of shied away from the I mean 2 1 seed games that I'm really anticipating because like I think the game's gonna be good. I just think both number one seeds like took a long break. Like they didn't play the last game of the season. They got another week off, so it's like they ain't really played in two plus weeks. So I just kind of want to see how they come out.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting, man. Cause like if you get caught slipping, cause you cold from that break, you could get punched in the mouth from a hot team, man. It happens. It happened to a few teams. You know what I mean? Like over the last 10 years, a lot of those one seeds that got that bye didn't always capitalize in the divisional round, man. They wasn't always able to make it happen.
I mean, it happened last week with like Green Bay and the Cowboys. I mean, Green Bay went out there and punched them in the mouth, and then Dallas couldn't. They never recovered from that. So yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it could definitely happen. So it's like, I mean, for the Ravens and for the 49ers, man, like, they have to be able to just to get out there and just I mean, like when they kick the ball off, like they got to be ready to go.
100%, 100%. All right, so we're gonna get into this first game, man. All right, so the first game, Texans, Ravens. Ravens favored by 9.5. The over under is 43.5. What you thinking, Jeremy? Who we rocking with today, man? Who you
Man,
going with?
I'm taking the Texans plus the pretty much is plus 10. I mean, I think that the Texans are on the road. The way CJ playing, I mean, I don't see them losing by more than 10 points. And I know the Ravens got one of the best defenses in the league. But I mean, like I do see the Ravens winning. I just don't see them winning by 10. And I just think, like I said, CJ on the heater. Will Anderson was, I mean, like causing havoc last week, against the Browns offensive line. And then you got Stingley in the secondary, and then you got the safety. I cannot remember his name right now, but I mean, like, they got a good defense, and I just think like they best thing for them to do is just to jump on the Ravens early. If they could jump on the Ravens early and just put a little pressure on the Ravens, I think they got a good chance to win. I mean, I'm not picking them to win, but like if they were to win the game, I wouldn't be shocked at all.
Yeah, I got the Texans with the points now. I did. I actually told you I caught it a little early, so I caught it plus 10. But I'll take it plus 9.5 also, man. I don't really think they're gonna get blowed out or nothing like that. I think it's gonna be a close game. But I do have the Ravens actually pulling the game out. If you had to take me for some parlays, probably Nico Collins for his receptions and receiving yards. Uh, give me Devin Singletary for anytime touchdown. CJ Stroud, give me his passing yards. Uh, give me Lamar Jackson anytime touchdown, and give me Zay Flowers anytime touchdown. Oh,
Yeah,
and Gus Edwards. you got to make sure you get Gus Edwards anytime touchdown. You got to.
Yeah, I think for
Yeah.
me on the prop side, I'm definitely going to take CJ for 225 and a touchdown. Um, I'm gonna take Nico for 60 yards, and then I think Nico scores again this week because he scored last week too. Um, and I'll take Devin Singletary for about 40 yards. I mean the Ravens, depending on your formation, the Ravens can be had in the run game, but it's certain formations. So I think the Texans can do it to get 40 yards. I do like your pick with Gus Edwards with anytime touchdown. I do like that one. And I do like Isaiah Likely getting the end zone too. And I would
Ooh,
also
yeah,
take
I forgot
Lamar
about
for,
Likely. Forgot about Likely.
yeah. Since Mark Andrews, like they opened up his window, but he's not gonna play this week, which I pretty much knew the whole week. I knew they weren't gonna put him out there because he hadn't played in a couple months. It's just not. He just started practicing this week, so I didn't really think it was a smart thing to do. Um, so yeah, and I'd also take Lamar for 40 rushing yards too, because I think what the Texans are gonna try to do is they're going to try to keep him in the pocket as much as possible, but there's just going to be those plays that get out of structure, and he's just going to make plays. He's going to get off the pocket, and he's either going to throw it or he's going to run it. And I just think he's going to run enough to get them 40 yards.
Okay, yeah, I can go with that 40. I can go with the 40 yards. I wonder what Lamar's is. It's probably up there today. I wonder what
Probably
his
around.
is. I know they had pulled his passing yards yesterday. When they
I mean,
when
he's
they
passing
did the
yards are
Mark
probably
Andrews
around
situation.
225. I would think that because I ain't trying to slander the man, but yeah, he's had a couple games where he's thrown 300 yards, but it's not a whole bunch. So I would think it'd be somewhere between two and 225. I mean, like especially with the defense that Houston has.
Let me get to it right now. Tell you in 2 seconds. Player props, passing yards. Yeah, they got him at 226 and a half.
Yeah, I was right on it there. Yeah, I mean, see, I think Houston's going to try to slow down that run game, and they're going to try to make Lamar throw. So I mean, I'm not putting that on my ticket, but I can see in a world where he gets 225 passing yards.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna touch it. I just wanted to see what it was. I would have touched it maybe at like 200, 205 if you could buy it down. Alternate passing yards, I'll probably take 199 and a half over. That's about all I mess with that. What you want to get one of these? You want to get one of these good draft picks, man?
Oh yeah, sure. And then go ahead and do that.
Who you want up first, man?
We can talk about the quarterback first.
All right, we'll pull up. Boom. Hey man, so we doing a little draft special for y'all, man. I know. Hey, look, everybody in here and in the playoffs. Some of y'all on the couch, y'all gonna have some draft picks. Y'all might be looking for somebody, man. So Jay, Mickey, you up, man? Spencer Rattler, tell me something.
Yeah, so I mean Spencer, I mean he not going to be a first round pick, or at least right now he not a first round pick right now. I mean for me, I think he's more of a third round pick right now, third or fourth. Um, I think for him and his draft status is going to depend a lot on his combine. Like I'm of the viewpoint that he's going to test really well at the combine. Like he's gonna throw well, run well. I mean, like do all the drills well. So by doing that, he might be able to push himself up into the late second round, maybe possibly. But I mean, this is an option for people that don't want to, like, if you don't have one of those, like top 10 picks where you can draft Drake May or you could draft Jaden Daniels or Caleb or even Penix or Bo Nix either. I mean, he's an option out there for you. I mean, he can pretty much make every throw on the field. I mean, he's got a really lively arm. And so I mean, like he can make those in structure and he can make those out of structure. So I mean, so for me, I mean, as far as arm strength goes and accuracy go, I mean, he's pretty good with accuracy. I mean, he's pretty good under pressure. I think this last college football season, he was one of the most pressured quarterbacks in college football. Wasn't necessarily his fault. His line was pretty bad. And so another strength of his is ball placement. So I mean, like he's able to like fit the ball in spots that some guys come out of the draft can't like. I mean, obviously not the first round guys, but like the guys around his area. And I mean, he's also like a pure athlete, so I mean, he can take off a run if he needs to, and I mean, things like that. Um, but so I mean, those are all his strengths. Now, his weaknesses are kind of his size. So he's only 6'1", about 215. So I mean, that's the question when he gets to the league is, I mean, is he going to be durable enough to, I mean, to take the hits and to last? I mean, I think he'll be fine. I mean, it's not like he's like 5'6" and like 150 pounds. Like he's over 200 pounds. He's over 6 feet. Well, he's listed at over 6 feet. Well, let me find out at the combine exactly what he's going to be. Um, but I mean, some of his other drawbacks are his composure in the pocket. I mean, sometimes he gets a little antsy in the pocket. Sometimes he wants to escape the pocket a little bit too sooner than he needs to. So I mean, that's just something that if you draft him, you're gonna have to kind of coach him up and kind of get that out of him, which I don't think it's that hard to do. Um, but it's definitely possible. And another weakness of his is like his mechanics. Like sometimes he's inconsistent with his mechanics. Um, so it goes back to my last point. It's like you just got to get him with a good QB coach, and you got to kind of just work that out of him. And I think for me, because I watched him when he was at Oklahoma, watched him obviously when he was at South Carolina because he's in the SEC. I mean, my issue with him is, it's not his throwing accuracy or his throwing, power or arm or whatever. It's really between the ears. Like that's what he struggled with at Oklahoma. He left there and went to South Carolina. He got a little bit better with that, but that's one of my concerns, and I think that's why he's not a first round grade quarterback talent. Like that's why he's kind of right now lingering the third round, maybe fourth round. But like I said, if he tests well at the combine, and he wows some people to combine, he's got the ability to be a second round draft pick. So, but yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a quarterback, if you're not really looking for a quarterback in the first round, but you're looking one for like later in the draft that you might want to develop, or if you got like a quarterback that you already have, like a veteran guy, but you're going to need a quarterback another year or two, then this could be an option for you.
I actually like Spencer Rattler, man. I didn't watch him much here when since he been with South Carolina, but I did watch him a lot at Oklahoma. I thought it was like a lot of the simple things, man, he could have fixed. I think he could have capitalized on being a better quarterback, but he got stuck with a lot of the hype of Oklahoma. He wasn't really able to develop as a quarterback. But I think he's a good second, maybe even if you can catch him, if he wow you enough, maybe late first if you a team that's drafting, best player available for your team, you know what I mean? And you, like you said, you got a vet, he already starting, and you looking to just add on to what you already got, and you kind of set the roster already set. You maybe gonna bring him in next year, you know, Jets, if you had a late pick, you know what I mean? You can get back into the first round, second round, early second round, late second round. I'm gonna go with mine, man. I'm gonna go with Braylon Allen, man. Running back out of Wisconsin, 6 feet, 2 inches, 238 pounds. Man, hey, look, I know when you look at his stats this year, he only got like 900 something yards total. I don't know what Wisconsin was thinking about after 2 seasons. This man putting up over 1,150 yards. Um, they brought in like three other running backs. Mick, they put three other running backs in. They shared the load. I think he had 181 carries, and between the other three guys, I think it was another almost 133 carries that they gave the other three running backs combined. Um, after 2 years of giving him over 200 attempts. But Braylon Allen is a late draft pick. He's maybe a late third, early fourth. But if you're looking for a bruiser back with some top end speed, high potential, um, he has some moves. He can make a man miss. But he's a bruiser. Good pass pro blocking skills, but he needs some work. You know what I mean? He's not great in the passing game. He's not going to help you in the passing game. He's not going to get out there and catch passes. I think he only had, let me check my notepad. He only had 50 receptions in 3 years for 275 yards. But he runs a 4.4 40. Um His freshman year is really what got him on the scene, Mick. He had in his freshman year, he had 1,258 uh total rushing yards, 12 touchdowns, and he had 6.8 yards per carry. He followed that up with 1,126 yards, 10 touchdowns, 5.5 yards per carry. This last year, they took the ball out of his hand, but he still averaged 5.5 yards per carry. He never missed a game in his college career, so you ain't got to worry about injuries. He coming in, and I think he could produce for a team, man. If they looking for that 1-2 punch, I think he could be a real nice pickup for somebody, man, in that late pick.
Yeah, I mean, I think early in the week, like I was watching some of his tape early in the week, and the dude is he's a load, like he's a bruiser, like especially being between the tackles at his size and his speed. I mean, he's not an easy guy to bring down. I think you're completely right. I mean, he's not much of a like a catch, like like a catching running back or whatever. I mean, but if he goes to a team where like they have that third down back already and they just need to bruise it back just to carry the ball on first and second downs, I mean, he's the guy for you.
If you don't re-sign Swift and you're looking for another guy, Braylon Allen is your guy. Just saying.
I mean, that's a
All right,
fact.
so we're gonna get into this next game, man. So it's Packers versus Niners. Niners favored by 10. Over under is 50.5. This game interesting for me because like I do got 2 tickets, right? I ain't gonna lie, I
Yep.
kind of bet against my money because I got a ticket. Well, I took the Packers plus. I think I took them. I bought up, so I think I took them plus like 12.5. It was like minus 150 or something. I took them like I was like, all right, cool. But then I took a ticket like the other day, like 49ers money line. So like, I don't know if the 10 is safe because I don't know if the Packers won a Super Bowl. I hate to say it like that, but I don't know if they went in and if that was like, oh yeah, Hollywood. We took the Texans plus 10, but we took the Ravens money line, right, Mitt?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not placing. I'm not placing a bet on the money line, but that's kind of like I think the Ravens gonna pull out the game.
That's
But
kind of how we said it though. Like,
yeah, I'm definitely placing a bet on the Texans plus the 10.
I already got it in the I already got it in the, but yeah, so this game to me is like, which Packers do we get? Was the game in Dallas that big? You know what I mean? Where they possibly made a mistake. But I do like the over for some reason. I like the over. I think that 50.5 is something that they could do. I think the Packers gonna come in loose, ready to play. They ain't got nothing to play for. They ain't got nothing to lose. Win, lose, or draw. This is a winning season for them. But give me the Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown. Give me Debo Samuel anytime touchdown. Give me Romeo Dobbs anytime touchdown. And give me Jordan Love over 225. Oh, and give me Aaron Jones. I want to take him for like 65, 70, but I think they ain't gonna let you take him for like 50. So just take the 50. A lot of them don't let you. I don't know if FanDuel will let you adjust like that, but I know a lot of them keep it in the increments of like 5 and 10, right?
Yeah, I mean FanDuel. I know DraftKings and FanDuel, like, and you could take like old lines or whatever. I mean, I haven't checked it yet, but I'm pretty sure like you can alt him down to 50 or 50 or 40. Like I think they do in increments of 10.
Okay,
I
so
think it's like I think it's
I'll
like
take him for no more than like 70 though.
yeah, I think they start off at 25, they go to 40, then they go to 50, 60, 70, 80, and so on.
Okay.
The way I look at this game, also, I look at the Texans Ravens game the same kind of way. The 49ers have, like they rested a lot of their players the last week because they didn't need to play that game. They were obviously off last week because they're the 1 seed in, like the NFC. And so now they haven't really played in 2+ weeks. And the Packers are coming off a heater last week where they, like we said earlier, like they went into Dallas and they punched Dallas in the mouth. And Dallas could never recover. And I mean, like by the time that Dallas knew something, it was 21-0. And it was pretty much over. And Dallas is not a team that's able to come back from being down that kind of point. I mean, I hate calling teams front runners, but they're kind of front runners. Like, I mean, I don't look at the 49ers as front runners because they're a physical team. They can run the ball. Their quarterback had a really great season. I mean, some people putting him in the top 5 seasons for quarterbacks this year. So I think the Packers can cover the 10 though. Like I'm going to take them plus the 10. I do think the 49ers are going to win the game. What I would expect is that Green Bay, I mean, like Jordan Love not going to have the kind of time that I mean he had last week. I just don't. I mean, he was back there making sandwiches, cooking steaks on the grill. Like he had a lot of time last week, you know, to find the open guys and all that. And I just don't think he's going to have as much open time as he had last week. But I mean, saying all that, I mean, he's still got a group of young wide receivers that are really good. He's got Jaden Reed, he's got Dobbs, and he's got Christian Watson, who's coming off the hamstring, and they put up that offensive output last week. And Christian Watson he caught a pass or two. His impact on the game wasn't really that strong. But I think they're going to need him to be better this week and to be able to play more this week. And they also have Wicks too. So saying all that, prop wise on the Green Bay side, I like Jordan Love to throw for about 225, and I like him to throw for 2 touchdowns. I think Jaden Reed is going to be one of those touchdowns, and I think Christian Watson will be the other touchdown. I'm not putting Christian Watson on my ticket though. I think he's going to score a touchdown, but I'm not going to risk that on my parlay. Because I done been burned by him in fantasy football and looking on parlays way too much this past year. So I think this was going to happen. I'm just not putting him on my parlay. As far as Aaron Jones goes, I think Aaron Jones will get about 50 yards rushing, and I think he can get. I'm going to take him for about 25 yards receiving. Now on the 49ers side, give me Christian McCaffrey for 90 rushing yards. I think Christian is going to be able to exploit that Green Bay defense. Green Bay doesn't have the strongest linebackers in the world, and I just think CMC is going to be able to exploit that in the run game and the pass game. So I'm going to take him for the 90 rushing yards, and I'm also going to take him for the 25 receiving yards. I think this might be a George Kittle kind of game because, like I said, like the Green Bay linebackers aren't that strong.
Yeah, they're not that good.
Yeah, so I'm going to take Kittle for anytime touchdown, and I'm also going to take Kittle for 40 yards. I believe that Ayuk can get off for about 40 yards, and then I also think that Debo is going to get around the same about 40 yards as well. And I would probably take the over. I think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game. I mean, Green Bay showed the ability to score a lot of points, and we all know that for the 49ers to score a lot of points. And judging that the 49ers are coming off, like a lengthy, rest time, like 2 weeks or whatever. Like I just think there's going to be some points scored in this game. So I so I also like the over as well.
All right, we're gonna get back into these draft picks. I'm gonna go first this time, Mick, because I got an interesting one. So everybody talking about, the other receivers in the draft, right? And I was just like, man, it got to be another guy out there, you know what I'm saying, that's really kicking, really pushing the envelope. And I found Troy Franklin, bro. Watching the tape, he crispy. Like it's like butter, bro. It's smooth. It's real smooth, man. It's easy. He run the short routes, but he got the ability to like really beat you deep. He run a 4.35. He's 6'3", 187 pounds. I think he's more than a gadget guy, but I think I can see you putting him in an offense like yours. This was more of a pick that I looked at. I was like, if they get a good receiver, somehow they can get, an early second round pick. You know what I'm saying? Troy Franklin gonna probably end up sliding because of the size. I like him for the Pats, man. I think y'all need a guy that can be a number one, and he's not small. He's 6'3", so you could put it out there and let him go get it. You can put him in motion, and he can really be your guy, man. I really like him. He all around receiver to me. He for Oregon, I think they could have used him so much better. They really could have put him in so many more effective situations, but they have so much over there at Oregon. It's hard to kind of let one person get the shine. So he did have a pretty good season though last year. He ended up having like 1,383 receiving yards, 14 touchdowns. They didn't use him as a gadget guy though. He was receiver one.
It was
for Bo Nix. and
I mean,
people
the thing
ain't
about
talk about him.
well, yeah, the thing about Oregon is that Oregon had a lot of weapons, man. Like I mean, like they had the kid that's at running back that's also going into the draft. His name escaped me right now, but I mean, like he's also on a lot of people's lists. Their tight end was pretty good. I mean, he's nothing elite, but pretty good. And they had other wide receivers, so I think that's why like they didn't use him to his like full like capacity. So
But yeah, so he's like I was doing my research. What was it? He 86 in the top 100 ESPN. I think he's like 6 in his position rank. Um, but yeah, I think he's a good pick, man. I think early second. He's probably going to be somewhere in that top 10 in the second if he do slide. I think he's the Tank Dell of the 2024 draft.
yeah, I mean, it's funny you say that because like doing a lot of these mock drafts on these different websites, like I mean, with my second round pick, I've definitely been targeting him if he's still there. I mean, I've seen some mocks where he goes late in the first, like he goes to like the Texans or to the Chiefs or like to the Bills. So, I mean, there's a chance that he could make it to the second round, but it just depends. Those, I mean, teams in like the late 20s, like what they're looking to do. If they're looking to take a wide receiver, then I mean, he can go in the first round. But if they're not, then he could make it to the second round. So, and I definitely like Troy Franklin a lot. Like he's one of the guys that I really do like, though.
All right. So who you want next? You want Will Shipley?
We could do the running back next.
All right, Will Shipley.
Good
Big
old Will
Will.
Shipley. I mean, Will is it's kind of funny because the running back that you were talking about, Allen, Will Shipley's like the complete opposite of Braylon Allen. I mean, Will Shipley is more of an outside runner. Like his best skill is catching the football and I'm getting him into space. So if you already got that bruising kind of back, yeah. So I mean, like if you already got that bruising kind of back, and like if you need more of a pass catching back, I mean, he's the guy for you. I mean, not to say that he can't run the football. He can run the football, but I mean, if you're gonna draft him to run the football, you want to run him on like the edges on like tosses and I mean like off tackle kind of plays. Like you don't. I mean, like you really don't want to run him on like inside runs and like traps and I mean stuff like that. Like I would stay away from that kind of stuff if I mean if you're gonna draft him. Um, I don't want to say he's like CMC, but in the passing game, he's kind of a little bit like CMC in the passing game. Like he's got those like quick feet, what I mean? Like his hands are really good. Um, because I mean, like calling someone like CMC is kind of like sacrilegious because like CMC is essentially the best back in the league. But I mean, like the one skill that he doesn't possess that CMC does is I mean, CMC can run between the tackles, and I think CMC is more durable than he's going to be in like in the league. And I mean Shipley also has good vision. And like and he's pretty, his speed is pretty good. I mean, for the most part, I mean, he's not gonna like, like I mean, like I don't see many chances where he's gonna just take the ball to 20 and I mean run it 80 yards. I mean, he's got speed, but I don't think he has that kind of speed. I'm trying to think anything else.
I know a
Um
lot about Will Shipley. I'm a Florida State fan. Jesus Christ.
and then I bet you glad that he's not gonna stay at Clemson, man. You gotta be happy about that. Um
Well, last year was the only year like I really got the ups on him. The other 2 years they kind of dogged us out. So I mean,
yeah,
yeah,
but I feel like Clemson
I'm
wasn't
kind of
good.
glad I know it sounds bad, but I'm kind of glad they organization fell apart. I mean, because they
Well,
was
yeah, I
kicking
mean,
ass.
I mean, I feel like they still had Shipley, they had other running backs, but their wide receivers weren't good. So I just think that's a real reason why like their offense just wasn't good. I mean, the defense, I guess it was better than a year before, but it's still a work in progress. Um,
They got
but
Will
yeah,
Shipley going what third, something like that,
I mean, it depends.
second, third.
I've done a lot of mocks, man. Like I seen some drafts where he go third round. I seen some where he go fourth. I seen some where he go late second. I think it just depends. It depends on the other running back because he's not going to be the first guy taken. I mean, the first guy taken is probably going to be Corum. And
Man,
like and then
I seen a lot of mock drafts where Corum is going in the third round, bro, and that is ridiculous.
well, I mean, the thing about Corum is Corum doesn't. I mean, he's got the ability to catch the ball, but he's not elite at it. But I mean, Corum's vision is good. So I mean, so you have that, but like Corum doesn't have the top end speed, and also Corum got a lot of tread on his tires. So that's why he's not going until like the third round because of all those combination of things. So
I seen a lot, and I'm like, I thought he was gonna go earlier. So like, I'm doing my mock drafts, and I'm kind of like playing around with it. And I'm like, I get to the third round, I'm like, Blake Corum still here on the board. I'm like, yeah, I'm
yeah.
definitely taking him. Like, I'm definitely taking him.
Yeah, I mean,
And
this is a year. This is a year where we don't have any running backs I feel gonna go in the first round. I just don't see it, and I think the earliest is at the end of the second, where you might get Corum at the end of the second, or
hey,
you might.
ENA, stay around, man. Stay around. Somebody. I think somebody got him on the list, man.
And we're
Stay
gonna talk about
around,
Tez
man.
later, man. Trust me,
Yeah,
and
he
we're gonna
on the
talk about
list.
Tez Walker out of North
He
Carolina.
on the list.
But so I guess like just to go over Shipley's weaknesses, like one of his major weaknesses is his build. It's kind of like I said, like there can be a durability issue if you're trying to use him like a CMC or you're trying to use him like a 3-down back. So I mean his durability could be an issue there, and then the other one is that he's not really gonna overwhelm DBs with his speed. So that's just something you got to keep in mind. Like I'm saying, like he's not gonna. I don't think he's got the kind of speed where he could just break like an 80-yard run. Like he doesn't have that top end speed. So. But yeah, I mean, like Will for me, like I mean, if you had like a late third or like an early fourth round, I would definitely take him.
Yeah, definitely that. I would definitely do that. All right, let's get into this next game real quick. I like this draft stuff, man. This draft stuff interesting, dog.
I mean, you get
Packers versus Lions. Lions, what'd you say now? Hold on before we get
oh
into
no,
it.
no, no. I was about to say like with the draft stuff, yeah, like you be mad that your team not in it, but like when you get to watch all this, like all the tape on these players, and you get to kind of see what they do good and what they do bad. I mean, it kind of gives you more of an insight. It kind of gets you more prepared for the draft. And when your team draft whoever they draft, you might be able to make the DME determination like, is this guy going to be good in your system or not? So,
J-Mick, this is my favorite time of the year, man. If you meet anybody that know me, bro, that you ask him like, yeah, Smitty be locked in the draft time, like, cause I'm a football. I like football, so I watch college, I watch NFL, and then I like coaching because I was getting into coaching for a long time. So it's like a situation where like I get to like really tap in and then put my knowledge to what I'm seeing, and it's like, okay, like I done picked some of our draft picks before.
yeah, see, I
Like,
mean, you're lucky though, because for me, draft time for me was like, I mean, it was like an abyss because it's Bill Belichick. Like, I don't know, most of the time we trade him back, we're not keeping the pick. So it doesn't even make sense to watch on the first night of the draft on the first round because most of the time we trade now. We would never draft the people I want to draft. But I mean, it's a new day, man. So I mean, so I'm hopefully more optimistic that like draft time will be better for my team and the fans of my team. Hopefully, so. And we gotta see how it
but
goes.
at least your new guy came out immediately and said, "Listen, we are drafting an important person, an important position. You put the tea leaves together and tell me what it is that we
I mean,
drafted."
Daniels is on the way, man. Black
Hey,
coach,
man.
black quarterback, man. I mean, Daniels on the way. I mean, unless we trade up to 1 and then we get Caleb, I seriously doubt that. But I'm
Would you be
prepared
mad
for
with
Daniels.
Penix at 3?
I mean, I think if you're going to draft Penix, man, you just trade back. I mean, if you really want Penix, then
I
you can just
don't
trade back to around
listen,
8
but
to
I
10
don't
and get him there.
trust. Listen. I think this is what's gonna happen. I think Penix is finna have one of those runs like who just had a run like that and they went like not really CJ Stroud because they kind of killed CJ Stroud. The year before that, who was it? Kenny Pickett.
Oh, pick it.
Like he
Well,
was
yeah,
kind of Kenny was kind of fluctuating in that first round, second round area. Then he like went off in the combine, went off in the pro day, had all the numbers, didn't have all the measurables though. His hands were small. That's the upside for like a Penix.
yeah, but the thing, see, Kenny Pickett, I said this yesterday. I was talking to some guys yesterday. I think the only reason why Kenny Pickett won the first round because he played for Pittsburgh and the Steelers and the Steelers and the Pittsburgh, like the Pittsburgh college team, they share the same facilities. I mean, like if it wasn't for if he played at any other school in like any other city that wasn't Pittsburgh, I don't think he gets drafted in that first round. That was one of the weaker draft classes for quarterbacks in a long time because the two main guys were what Pickett and Malik Willis, and
I
looking
think
like
that's
both
the
of them.
team to watch out for though.
Say what?
I think that's the team to watch out for.
See, I think Pittsburgh's the team to watch out for in the free agency quarterbacks, in my opinion. Like I
I
think
think
they're
they might. I think they might trade up.
see, I think they could if the Bears select Caleb, I think it's a very good possibility that they could trade for Justin Fields, or they could try to
Oh,
sign
now if
Russell
that
Wilson.
happens, yeah. Then you're in a different
Yeah, I
situation.
mean
But
Russell Wilson,
if
I
that
don't agree with, but
happens, Atlanta will react immediately. Trust that belief.
I mean, would you seen that report that they're saying if they hire Bill Belichick, that Kirk Cousins said that he might be interested in playing for Bill Belichick?
That'd be nice. I did see the report. I didn't know how true it was, so I don't like reporting false news. But yeah, I did see the report.
Yeah, see, I don't know how true it is, and plus, I mean, Bill ain't officially the coach yet, so we got to wait for him to be the coach first, and then you can see how that trickles down or whatever after the season. So,
They just had an interview with the other top prospect out there, Harbaugh.
yeah, but I think if he goes to the league, man, he going to the Chargers, man. I don't see Harbaugh going to Atlanta.
I mean, I be thinking about it in a sense like, what's the easiest job for them in their head and they sense? What's the best ability? I mean, I feel like the Chargers got so much to fix.
Well, the
Atlanta
only
got
thing on
less
that
to
team,
fix.
the
Atlanta,
only
you
thing,
get a good quarterback, you kind of in there.
I mean, the only thing you don't got to fix on the Chargers is the quarterback, Justin Herbert. That's the one stable piece on that team. I mean, everything else, I mean, I guess the safety position is pretty stable because you got good safeties. But like everything else, and I mean that's why I say when people say, "Oh well, the Chargers is a good job to take," yeah, it's a good job because of Justin Herbert. But you look at everything else, like you look at the from the roster to then like the ownership, like the kids, the siblings are fighting over the team and they're suing each other. So I mean, like I said, outside of Justin Herbert, man, I don't know how good of a situation that really is.
Hey, it's Sly. What's your team, brother? Because he said it looked like he talking to you.
And we're gonna get to that slide. Don't worry. And we're gonna get to Tez. And when we talk about
No. He's saying that's what he think. It seemed like that's what he said he should. That he wanted somebody to draft like Drake
and we're
May
gonna
and
get to that,
Tez.
trust me, and we're gonna get to that.
You want to draft Drake May and Tez?
I'm not gonna give it away just yet, but I mean when we talk about Tez, and we're gonna talk about that.
All right. So Buccaneers, Lions -6. Over under is 49.5. They beat me, Mick. Damn.
Yeah, they kind of did a number on you. I ain't gonna lie in that second half. I'm not gonna lie to you.
They beat my ass. But I'm taking the Lions, man. I ain't even going against the grain this week. Listen, the Bucks are playing great football. They caught me slipping though. It was a lot of that. Listen, to be honest, if you really look at the game, right, they couldn't score on us like that. They really scored us in the fourth quarter when pretty much everybody had then gave up at that point. But in the second and third quarter, they combined for like, I want to say 6 points. Like they really didn't kill me like that. Like they really didn't beat up on me like they should have. So it was 16 to 9 for like a quarter and a half.
It was.
So the reason I'm picking the Lions is like what we did. I think they'll capitalize. They'll actually go down and score. They'll actually put the points on the board. We couldn't do it. We had all the opportunities, man. We had like 4 or 5 possessions consecutively. We couldn't put points on the board. So, like I've been saying for weeks, you go in, you play poor, you don't do what you need to do. You get what you deserve, man. You deserve every bit and every piece of that loss, man. And that's what you deserve. You at home now, so we got to rebound, man. It's Nick Sirianni been meeting with the ownership for 2 days. I'm at the point where mentally I'm like, okay, they're gonna keep him. So now what? So now are they doing like coordinator adjustments to figure out who they want to bring in, who they want to interview in this upcoming week? I think Monday for the Philadelphia Eagles is gonna be very active. I think you're gonna see us after we have announced that Nick Sirianni will be the guy. I think you'll start seeing us bringing in a lot more of these experienced coordinators and reaching out to teams for interviews. Um, I want us to bring in somebody. I mean, I don't know. Listen, if Vrabel somehow is willing to take a DC job, I'll pay him top dollar to come coordinate my defense, 100%. Um, Offensively, I really want to stick with Brian Johnson. I've been saying this the whole time. I think he deserves the opportunity to implant his own offense into the game, but neither here or there. It looks like he probably gonna end up being the scapegoat, which happens. Um, so I hope one of these teams out here give him an opportunity. Uh, I think him and Bill going to Atlanta together could be a dynamic that works out well because Bill is the strong silent type, and Brian Johnson fit right under him. And I think they could cause some good offense together, man. If they get the right quarterback in the that could be a dynamic that we haven't seen Bill with in a long time. But in this game though, I'm taking the Lions. Give me Amon-Ra St. Brown receiving yards, anytime touchdown. David Montgomery, anytime touchdown. Rashid White, anytime touchdown. Mike Evans, 50 yards, 4.5 receptions.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you on this. Like I just think the Lions, when I look at the game and I look at each side of the ball, I just think the Lions offensively are going to have too much for the Bucks, and I get it. The Bucks got a good defense. I mean, they're going to get a little bit of pressure on you. I mean, depending on Vita Vea and I mean how good he plays. But the problem is you got to go against that Detroit Lions offensive line. Like that offensive line is if they're not the best unit in the league, they're like top three. And I'm not talking about number three. So I mean, for the Bucks to have a chance in this game, like they're gonna have to be able to put pressure on Goff. They're gonna have to shut down that run game, or maybe not shut it down, but contain it. Because obviously, we all know. I mean, we've all been watching the Lions all season. Like they have Montgomery and they got Jamar Gibbs, and that's
Gibbs
a
is coming
potent 1-2
along, bro.
combination. Like that's potent right there. And I mean, as the season goes on, Jamar Gibbs has gotten better. And you got to credit like Brian Johnson, well not Brian Johnson, Ben Johnson, and like Campbell, because they didn't, like they didn't do what Atlanta did with Bijan, where they gave Bijan a heavy dose early in the season. They kind of worked his way in. They slowly worked him into the offense in the beginning of the season, so he didn't have as much tread early in the season. So that's why he really hasn't hit that rookie wall, and he's not the main back. Like he shares the load with Montgomery. So I think they did a smart thing there. And then like like the other thing is just like I think people underrate the line. Like the Lions shut down the run pretty good, so I don't think the Buccaneers are going to be able to run the ball that well. The advantage the Bucks do have is they have Mike Evans and then they have like Godwin. But I think what the Lions are going to do is they're going to put Branch on Godwin and they're going to try to put Cam on Mike Evans with a safety over the top and just kind of see how that works. Like I think Evans is going to have a good game though, because I don't think the Lions have anybody to cover him that well.
Then they gonna put
So yeah,
CJ over the top though.
yeah. I mean, CJ is yeah. I mean, you could do that. I mean, I'm not sure. I probably would try some other combination because I would kind of want CJ back there just roaming around. I mean, because he's like a playmaker for that secondary. I mean, you got to see how it goes, man. I mean, you got to see how Cam, can recover Mike Evans and kind of see how that go or whatever. But yeah, I mean, give me the Lions minus the 6 prop wise. I think Jared Goff can go for 225 and a touchdown. I like Montgomery for a touchdown. I like Laporta for a touchdown. I also like St. Brown for 60 yards. I like JMO for about 40 yards. I think he's gonna he wasn't used that much last week, but I think he's gonna get 1 or 2 deep balls, and that's gonna give you 40 yards. On the Buck side, I like Baker for 200 yards and a touchdown. I like Mike Evans for the touchdown. I think that's it on their side. And I mean, and you could gamble with Godwin for like the 40 to 50 yards. I mean, he should be able to do. I mean, he should be able to do some work. I mean, between the hashes as well. So,
All right, man. So you want Tez next?
yeah, we could, and then do Tez next.
All right, man. Devontae Walker.
So his full name is Devontae Walker, but I mean everybody call him Tez, man. So Ted, so here's the funny thing. Like, so for me as a Patriot fan, like I was looking at Drake May's tape last year when he was playing with Josh Downs, and I didn't really love what I saw last year out of Drake May. Like his decision making wasn't that great or whatever. And so I watched a little bit of Tez Walker this week, um, because it's like like it's kind of like the 2-for-1 because because Drake May could be my quarterback. I mean, depending on how the draft fall, like the first 3 picks. Um, so I'm watching Tez, but I'm also watching Drake May at the same time. And so, I mean, just go over Tez's strengths and weaknesses. So I mean, Tez is a natural playmaker. So I mean, like what that means is like he's best like with the ball in his hands, kind of like a Debo Samuels. Like when you get the ball in his hands, he can make plays. I'm not calling him Debo, but I'm just saying like when it comes to that particular strength, he's kind of like Debo, and I mean that respect. Um, you know, so I mean, in college, like he is really dangerous in the catch and run situations. And he can take the top off of defense in college. Now, I'm not sure if that's going to translate to the league. I mean, because I got to see how that goes for him. I got to see what he runs at the combine and see if that top end speed he's still able to do that because he's able to do that in college, but in the NFL, kind of got to wait and see on that. I'm just not 100% sure. When he's throwing the deep ball, I mean he's able to track that well and catch it. So I mean that's definitely a strength of his as well. And another strength that he's like a fluid athlete. So I mean he runs well and things like that, but it kind of is one of his weaknesses. Like his I don't want to call his route tree limited, but the stuff he's running in North Carolina, I mean, he was running like a limited route tree. So I'm just not sure if that's the offense or if that's just he's just not able to do the whole route tree. Um, and then I guess I told his last skill, like his last skill to me, is his tall frame and I mean long arms. So I mean like that gives him that gives him the special ability, like say it's a jump ball, he's able like he's tall, he's got long arms, and he's got a pretty good vertical, so he can go up and make the plays. And like I was saying, like his weaknesses are at North Carolina was was limited route tree. Like I said, I don't know if it's the offense that he was in or if his route tree is limited. So you kind of got to keep an eye out on that to let me see if that's what I mean. I'm having at the next level. And the last weakness I said was, like him taking the top off of defense. He was able to do that in college, which is one of his strengths. I'm not 100% sure he's going to be able to do that in the league. What I expect right now, I think Tez right now is a 3rd-round pick. But I think after the combine, he's gonna move into the 2nd round. I think with his measurables and his vertical jump, and his 40 time, and I mean all that kind of stuff. I think he's gonna be able to propel himself into the 2nd round. So I mean, like if you want to take him early in the 2nd round because you don't know if he's gonna be there in the mid, then you can do that as well. And to the point Sly was saying in the comments, like the more I watch Drake May and Tez Walker, the more that I came to the conclusion that if you draft Drake May, you might need to draft Tez Walker as well. I'm not that high on Drake May, and I just think, with Drake May playing with Tez, I just think if you draft Drake May, you might want to think about doing that because, I mean, at least if you bring Drake May in, he, like he has some kind of, like he's familiar with Tez Walker. He's played with Tez Walker I don't want to say the whole season, but like the majority of like this past season. So that's something that if you need a quarterback and a wide receiver, I would probably, if you're going to draft May, I would probably draft Tez in the 2nd round.
Hey, he ain't go crazy on my team. He is in the ACC, but boy, I know Miami gotta be screaming right now that he gone. That boy, I remember like what last year or the year before. I think he went for like 150 on them boys, easy. I mean, he went crazy on them boys. I mean, I like Tez though. He a nice receiver. I kind of see what you see though, like the limited route tree. It seemed like he only running like I don't even know. I don't even want to say half. Maybe 3 or 4 routes. He not really running much. It's really that swing and go where he do the little fake and then he kind of try to like go by. Then it's the little slant and then it's the end and then it's fly. Like it's the only routes I've seen him run.
Yeah, so it's kind of like I said, like I don't know if that's just the offense that he's in or he's not capable of the whole route tree. And if he's not capable of the whole route tree, I mean that's just something you got to work on. I mean, that's kind of I mean, like like the dude in Seattle's kind of like that. I mean, like DK. I think DK is capable of running the route tree, but they don't make him do that. Like like there's only certain routes that he kind of goes on. So, but I mean, like DK is still effective though. Like I mean, DK is a fast, physical guy. Um, and then I'm not saying that's Tez Walker's comp or anything, but I mean, it's kind of the same kind of skill set where like he's physically opposing. He's got the speed. It's just, I mean, can he transform that into the NFL and still be successful? That's my question. I mean, I like Tez a lot, and I think Tez. I mean, because Tez actually came. I believe Tez came from Michigan State because he played at Michigan State first. No. That's not Tez because then your boy came from Michigan State. Keon Coleman. He came from
Yeah.
Michigan State and he went to Florida State. I forgot where Tez came from. I think Tez came actually. I think he came from Kent State. Like he played at Kent State for a couple of years, and then he transferred to North Carolina. So, but yeah, I mean, if you need a wide receiver, second, third round, and you need like a bigger, wide receiver that's taller and's got longer arms, I mean, this might be the guy for you.
All right. So look, this is the guy the Philadelphia Eagles need to look into, man. Nate Wiggins, cornerback, Clemson, 6'2" 185 pounds. Listen, dude can do it all. Uh, dude can play press. He can play zone. You can put him on an island. Uh, he's not really great in run support. He's decent. He's not gonna blow the tackle, but he's not a willing tackler. If it comes his way, he gonna put his head down and go get it. But he's not gonna go track the ball down and actually make a play. Um, which is cool. Which is cool because a lot of cornerbacks don't want to tackle anyways. What I need you to do is in the open field. He has great ball tracking. Um, he locked down, man. I seen a few what he could really play the press. I know he a little smaller in the frame, but you could easily pack on some muscle in the NFL, man. It's not crazy. Um, he hasn't had the interceptions, but he has the PBUs. I think he got this last season. I think he had 9 PBUs, 2 interceptions. Um, but I think he had like 41 tackles.
Okay.
So it's like, I mean, he will tackle. He not looking for the contact, but he'll go get it. Oh yeah, she confirmed that. Yeah, he came from Kent State. All right,
Yeah.
thank you, Sly. Thank you, Sly.
Yeah, because I remember
Uh,
because I think he played at Kent State when Georgia played Kent State, and like he kind of killed our second at that one game. So
yeah. So he not the fastest though. I think he's like a 4.5, 4.55, 4.56 type guy. Um, but as a cornerback, man, he's not Keely Ringo with the hips. He can move his hips. He can actually flip his hips. He can go stride for stride with your best receiver. Um, if you're looking for a first round, late first round uh draft pick at cornerback, which I'm looking for at 22nd. Um, this is your guy, man. This is somebody you can put on the team. He gonna make a difference. He gonna contribute, and he could be a first year starter. He might not first year be your number one, but he can definitely sit next to a guy who you already have established at one. Work him in, and he could be a great two. Um, what you know about Nate Wiggins? You heard anything about Nate Wiggins, man?
yeah, I actually watched some of his tape earlier in the week. To me, with Nate, he doesn't when he's in coverage, like he doesn't really he doesn't take too many missteps, which is good for a corner because like, you don't if you're especially if you're a coverage corner, like you don't want your corner taking missteps or whatever. And the tape that I seen, I mean him at Clemson, he wasn't taking missteps. It's kind of like what you said, like he's not a real overly physical corner. Like he's not like last year's like Devin Witherspoon, where Devin Witherspoon is looking for the contact. Like he want to be physical. And I mean, Nate Wiggins not really that kind of guy. And honestly, I'm okay with that. Like if you're just looking for a coverage corner, I mean, I think Nate's not bad. I mean, I actually like Nate better than the number one corner in the draft right now, which is a Cooper DeJean. I've seen some of his tape, and I was not impressed. I mean, just to be frank with it. But I mean, Nate's a good pick. I mean, depending on how the draft go, like you should if you got a late and if you're picking in the 20s, I don't think he's getting picked. I mean, earlier than in the 20s. So I mean, he still should be there. But I think he's got the capability to be a good corner. I mean, like I hate doing this with certain schools and certain positions, but like recently, like the Clemson corners ain't been the best in the league. Like, because I mean, AJ Terrell was a Clemson corner. He's had his struggles, but I'm not gonna put that on a whole school. I mean, just because your school doesn't come out with the best corner, like it's like saying that oh, like it's like saying like the Buckeyes quarterbacks ain't that great, but they just had C.J. Stroud, and I mean, he's been playing really good. So,
But would you say he's the conundrum? He's the standout. He's the outlier.
uh,
Because the ones before that, just like Florida State quarterbacks, they ain't been all that good.
I mean, he might be the outlier. I mean, he has the chance to be good in the league. I think.
I
Um,
think so too. I
I
really
mean,
like
I
him.
don't like watching Cooper DeJean. Like, I didn't love, and he's supposed to be the number one corner in the draft. Like, some people rate him that. Like the tape I watched, I didn't love it. Like he was taking, like I said, for a corner and you're in coverage, like you should not be taking missteps. Um, and I mean, like his, Cooper's DeJean steps were real choppy, and that to me is like a sign for like disaster. So,
Uh,
but I mean, but we'll see. I mean, like, Wiggins. I mean, I think he should be fine in the league. So,
All right. So the last game of the week, Chiefs versus Bills. Bills favored by 2.5. The over under is 45.5. Talk to me, Mick. What you feeling about this one, man?
man, there's not many times in the playoffs I'm gonna ride with the Bills. It's kind of like my rival. Like I'm not gonna ride with them a lot, but I said a lot this week. People heard me say it. Um, if you can't beat the Chiefs now, when are you gonna beat them? Because their offense is not as strong as it's been. I get it. Their defense is one of the better units in the league. I mean, some people call it a top 10 unit. But yeah, like if you're the Bills and the Chiefs have not been a strong team all year, you already beat them, and the Bills got this habit of beating the Chiefs in the regular season, but they lose in the postseason. So if you can't beat this team now, like when are you ever going to beat them? Um, and so I look at it like that, and I look at the fact that even though people say the Chiefs' offense was better against the Dolphins, they kicked a bunch of field goals that game. I mean, like the Dolphins had a really hurt defense, and they were playing in the cold, and we all know that Miami's plays obviously in Miami, so one with a climate, and they don't. I think they're like it's something like in their last 12 games, they're like 1-11 in cold weather games or something like that. And that game last week was ridiculously cold. So I'm gonna ride with the Bills minus the 2.5. I mean, I'd probably even take them at the minus the 3. I mean, most of these games with the Bills and the Chiefs in the postseason are really close. Um, and I just like the matchup that the fact that James Cook they're going to need James Cook to have a good game. And sometimes the Chiefs aren't the best playing against the run at times.
Jeez, this is nasty. In the last 21 games, the Miami Dolphins are 2-19
With the
in
cold weather.
games below 40 degrees.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I mean, so
That is wild.
yeah, so and then I mean when I look at the matchup, I mean like people love to
Hold
point
on.
to Josh.
Wait. It gets worse.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Games below 50, they are 15-50.
Yeah, they don't play well.
Oh, bruh.
I mean that's why I
Bruh,
don't
how
put a
do
lot of
you
stock in that win. I never put a lot of stock in that win last week. I mean the Chiefs did what they were supposed to do. They beat a team that can't play in the cold weather. I mean they dominated them in the second half. I'll give them that. They dominated them. They forced them to tackle Pacheco, and tackling Pacheco in that kind of weather is not. It's not. If you're not accustomed to that weather, that's not where you want to be. Um, but yeah, so I mean, a lot of people point to Josh Allen and his turnovers in the regular season, but I think people fail to realize that he doesn't really turn over the ball that much in the postseason. Like he really doesn't. So I mean, so if you're hoping for him to throw 2 or 3 picks, I mean, it's anything's possible. I don't see it, but it's possible. Um, and then on the Chiefs, I think for the Chiefs to win, like Mahomes is going to have a like a classic Mahomes playoff game where he gonna have to throw for 300 and 2 or 3 touchdowns or something like that, because I think the Bills' first agenda is going to be to shut down Pacheco in that run game, because it's what Pacheco and Clyde Edwards-Helaire. That's it. I mean, other than that, those are the only 2 running backs they have that's back to that are healthy, because I mean McKinnon is on IR, so he's not gonna play. And he's like their like postseason warrior, like he always was good in the postseason. So that's what I got on the game. Bill, like I'm taking Bills minus the 3. I'm taking Josh Allen for anytime touchdown. I'm taking Dawson Knox for anytime touchdown. And then on the Chiefs side, I know Kelsey hasn't scored in a long time, like since I think early November. So I think he's due. I think Kelsey can get in the end zone. I got Pacheco for 50 yards. And then I'm gonna take a sleepy pick. I'm gonna take Mahomes rushing. I think his rushing yards is like 15 or 20. I'm gonna take his rushing yards because I think the Bills are gonna do a good job of covering up the wide receivers and the tight ends. It's gonna force him to make plays with his, his legs. So yeah.
What are you doing, J-Mid? I mean, I'm sorry, man. Tom, it was a long time in my life where I was told you never bet against Tom Brady. I used to be like, man, damn Tom Brady, man. I'm betting with Peyton Manning, man. I'm all in. I'm betting every time they play. I'm gone. Catch me on the other side. I ain't going through that again, Mick. They told me you don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. I ain't betting against Patrick Mahomes. Like, that dude is amazing, man. I hate to say it. As we would say in a space, I'm not finna glaze, but I'm gonna get my shit off. But like, nah, man. But it's just something about it. Like I told you, it give me that vibe. It give me that feel. That Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning, man. I mean, yes, Peyton Manning did win some. He didn't lose all of them, but it was very far in between of the ones he did when he did beat them, man. And a lot of the regular season wins didn't amount to playoff wins. And then when he did beat him in the playoffs, I mean, as we know, it wasn't many times. Peyton Manning was able to get chips. I don't know if Allen can get rid of this anytime interception, because I'm putting it on my ticket again this week. He don't really throw interceptions in the playoffs, but he do against the Chiefs. See, it's one of those things like he don't do it in the playoffs. When he play the Chiefs, he unusually plays like weird, like the boogeyman stepped into the crib. And people are like, oh, well, it's because he been in Kansas City. He been in Kansas City. I'm like, okay, well, to me, it's not all about where you at. Sometimes it's just the person you're playing, man. And if you ever ask Tom Brady and Peyton Manning about playing each other, it's just something about playing that guy that gets the best out of you. Sometimes you try a little harder than you need to. But I'm taking the Chiefs, man, plus 2.5 today. I'm taking the over. Give me Pacheco rushing yards. Give me James Cook rushing yards. Give me Rashee Rice, man, receiving yards today, man. I think he's gonna have a decent game. Give me that same anytime touchdown at Travis Kelce. For the Bills, I don't know if I want to touch Stephon Diggs, even though he had a pretty decent game in his last game.
I mean, he's gonna be matched up against Snead. That's the only thing. I mean, Snead's a
Yeah, that's the problem. And if Snead do him anything like he did Tyreek Hill, it could get nasty out there. Give me Diggs for 50 yards, man. I think he could get 50. Give me James Cook anytime touchdown. Give me Josh Allen anytime touchdown. And give me Shakir. Whatever his receiving yards is, I'll take his receiving yards, man. I think
I forgot about Shakir because like Gabe Davis is not going to play, so he's thrusted into a bigger role. Honestly, I'd be feeling like Shakir is better than Gabe Davis at times. This is my opinion because Gabe Davis had
more focused.
Yeah, like Gabe had that one splash game against the Chiefs in the postseason. Everybody had these high expectations for him, And this season, man, he's not had a good season. I mean, he's
Did
been
he
on a
have a
couple.
game this year with like 4 touchdowns though?
No, I don't think it was 4. I think it was like 2 or
3
3. Yeah, but he's also had games where he ain't catch a pass, and that's just
mini
not one.
games.
I think it's about 3 or 4 of them things.
Mini games.
So it's just like, yeah. I mean, but it should be a good game though. It's the last game of the weekend. It's Sunday at 6:30, man. Take you into the night. It could be the best game of the weekend, or it could not be. I mean, so I'm just not even sure what the best game of the weekend going to be. But I'm just excited for the game. So.
All right, man. So it's back on you, man. Kalen King.
Yeah, so Kalen's interesting because Kalen on some of the, like on some of the sites, and hold on one second. Sorry about that, my dog barking. But Kalen is an interesting case for me, man. Like I watch because he played for Penn State. I actually liked him at Penn State a lot, actually. But he's not like ranked as the top 5 corner. So in coming into this draft, I mean, I view him as such, but he's not really like they don't view him as such. But I mean, to me, he's more of your ball hawking cornerback. Like he's gonna, like if you put it in a questionable spot, I mean, he's gonna be able to catch it. And I mean, I mean, obviously if he's catching, he's a corner, so he's gonna intercept it. So and I mean, like the Penn State had one of the best passing defenses in the Big Ten. So he has the ability to be able to track the ball and he can anticipate the ball, I mean, like when it's coming his way. And then his size isn't a lot, but he's a real physical corner. So like he's one of those guys that's like the opposite of Nate Wiggins, where he's looking for the contact. He wants to tackle. So I mean, if you need a physical corner that wants to tackle, I mean, that is, I mean, like that's the guy for you. I mean, also he's got a blend of agility and speed, which is obviously good for a corner. And so I mean, like he's good in zone and man. I mean, I think his best coverage is zone, but he's able to play both. I mean, which is good. And I mean, he's he's really good against the run. Like I said, he's a physical corner, so he likes to tackle. So against the run, he's really good. And I feel like if you're a corner in that Penn State scheme, you kind of have to want to tackle because you're playing in the Big Ten. You're playing against a lot of run heavy offenses, and you have to want to tackle. And so like he kind of fits all of those. I mean, he's got a good like obviously like he's further down the draft board in terms of corner, so he's got a good amount of weaknesses. I'm only gonna list a couple. One of his weaknesses is his size. Like he's not a huge corner. So it's more like his length and his frame. Is like it's not like your typical corner that's over like well over 6 feet. So I mean that's one of the things that you can kind of pick at. I mean, like the other thing is like when he tries to jam the wide receivers with 2 hands. He's a little bit too reliant on that and like press coverage, and that it can be good if you get the jam in good, but if you don't get it in enough and the wide receivers is able to get by you, then that could be a problem. So I mean that's just something you got to watch out for him. Depending on his combine, like I got him in like the 2nd, 3rd roundish. I mean, he can move up. It just depends on what he does at the combine, like his measurables and stuff like that. So I mean, if you need a physical corner, but you don't want to take the corner early, I think this is a guy that you might be wanting to take. So
I think Kalen King is a project. He was one of the ones, and you sent it, and I traded him out for Nate because I had him on the list. I was going to do Kalen. The problem for me though is twitchy receivers. I ain't gonna lie to you. When it get to the twitchy receivers, I almost see James Bradbury.
Bradbury, huh?
I watched that Marvin Harrison, and Marvin Harrison did that man nasty. Like it was ridiculous. Like I was watching that game, I was just watching the little highlights, and I was just like, Kalen, like stop. And he kept trying to jam him. And Marvin was just like, "You're not jamming me. Like I'm going by you." And he kept trying to 2-hand him, and he whoop, whoop, and then he catch him in the open field, and he'll hit him with like he going across the middle, and and Marvin Harrison would just cut back across the field and end up wide open for touchdowns. That's gonna be something he's gonna have to work on. He's gonna have to, learn how to kind of be a little less aggressive, play a little bit more fluid. Sometimes you got to make up for your size and frame with more of the schematics, the basics. You know what I mean? He a good corner, but I think he more of a project. You're gonna have to get him in there, or maybe even put him in some zone scenarios where he can play. He could play the bump, but he more responsible for like the flat slash the middle area. So he'll take some of the shorter routes, but he can kind of use his aggressiveness off the line still. I mean, you can always make it happen. Hold on, kicker popping in. Hold on.
Yeah, I mean, like I'll just say this real quick. Like with Marvin Harrison, I mean, you made a good point. Like he did struggle with Marvin Harrison, and then I think like one of his other weaknesses is that like he be looking in the backfield too much, and so that could be good and bad. I mean, it could be good that you kind of want to keep an eye on the quarterback, but that makes you susceptible. I mean, susceptible to getting burnt. So I mean, or just to get beat. So he got to be careful with that. So.
Hey, kicker, it's on you, man. What's going on, man? What's going on, man? Ravens.
Huh? Yeah, man. I was up early, man, trying to get myself together. What y'all talking about? The game?
Yeah, we had already talked about your game, but it's you here, so it's
Yes,
on
I mean you
you.
can talk about it.
Man, I feel like my boys gonna come out there right to smack the shit out somebody today. I got the Ravens
I
42-17.
heard your score prediction.
Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, I got the
42 to
Ravens
17.
42-17. I mean, I get that. I understand that was CJ first game, but but people also got to understand that was Lamar first game under the Todd Monken offense. And I was one of them fans was like, man, we're gonna put out 50 week one, but a lot of people was saying, well, they still gotta get used to it. You feel me? So that's how I'm looking at it. Player props. I think CJ will throw for 225, Lamar 225, Lamar 2 passing touchdowns. Odell over 40 yards. I let Isaiah Likely over 40 yards. Zay Flowers over 40 yards. I like Isaiah Likely and Gus Edwards to score. Nico
Ooh,
Collins, I think
look,
he'll probably
look!
get
I ain't
about
even hear his takes, and me and bro had the same exact takes you putting out right now. I swear, you can go
over
back
real.
and
Yeah,
rewatch it.
yeah. Yeah, we
Exact
did, yeah.
same takes.
I mean,
I
not the
You
think
got to
I think
score,
split
but
them.
I think Nico probably if I had to choose a Texans player to score, I think he might score, and also he definitely gonna get his yards. I mean, I ain't gonna be no casual. Like the Ravens do give up yards, you feel me? And I feel like he gonna get his yards for real. And then other than that, that's all I like from it. Also I like the Ravens minus 11.5 too. So you know what I mean? So
Oh, Raven. So
yeah, I
that
mean,
mean you would take. So that mean you would take the Texans plus 12.5.
oh no.
I
No.
mean, if you're gonna take a
I
minus
think
11 and a
I like
half,
the
then
I like the Ravens minus. I don't like the Texans a cup. I feel like we're gonna come out there and blow them out.
okay.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to check, man. I wanted to make sure. You know what I mean? I got it both ways. Like I told you before, Mick, I kind of bet against my money on two games. I mean, like I took the Texans plus the money line. I took the Ravens. I took the Texans plus the points. I took the Ravens money line. I took the Packers plus the points, and I took the Niners money line. So I kind of
Yeah, see, and I see a lot of people doing two kind of like money line tickets where they take all the favorites or they take like all the underdogs. I've been seeing that a lot over the last couple of days.
I mean, around robin the underdogs though.
Okay, that makes sense.
So if at least I hit a couple, I can get my money back.
What certified that he ain't coming on today?
Oh, we ain't see him.
No, we ain't see him today. I mean,
We ain't
probably
see
getting ready for.
the two number one seeds, man. I guess they didn't want to hang out with the basement, man. So we covered some draft picks, man. We went through a couple things, man. Hey, Mitt, they didn't want to hang out with the guys, that don't get to say down said hut this week.
I mean, it is what it is,
This
man.
bitch trying to get warm. Fuck that. It's
I mean,
cold
but
as
they ain't
shit. I
gonna
went
be.
to the gas station, yo. It was cold as a motherfucker. And I ain't even put all my shit on, so I want to at least make sure I'm prepared. You feel me?
Oh yeah,
And at least
y'all
that game
game.
ain't a
Y'all at
night
least y'all
game.
game early. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
finna
it's
say
an
at
early
least it's
game.
early in the daytime.
So at least, I mean, maybe the sun might be out for like an hour or whatever. So
I ain't even pumped
Okay,
yet. I'm
okay,
stiff as
probably
shit,
good.
but I'll be pumped soon.
I mean, you got about 4 hours to the game, like well, more than four. It's like 5 hours to the game. So I mean, you got plenty of time.
Yeah, I like to get
Hey,
down
hey,
there
hey,
early. I got a lot of shit. I got a lot
hey,
of
J man, when
content
your
I'm
team
trying
ain't
to
in the
do.
playoffs and you watching games, you watching in Patriots gear.
Nah, actually, I don't. I just happen to have a Patriot hoodie on right now, but I
No,
mean,
I'm
because I had to take
asking though,
my
cause
time out
like
the back
I real deal be wondering like, do other people do that? Like, I
I
wear my
mean,
ego hat. Like,
sometimes I just grab the first hoodie. If the hoodie's a Patriot hoodie, I got a good amount of Patriot hoodies. I mean, because where I live at is cold. I mean,
yeah,
just depends what a hoodie on the back of the door, and I just grab it, man. It really depends. I mean, but some of these games, like KC and the Bills, like I'm not a fan of KC, and I ain't a fan of the Bills. So it's like, so I mean, either way, I can't lose because I mean, somebody going home.
yeah,
So I
somebody
mean,
going
if the
home.
Bill, if the Bills win, then I'm cool with it because the Chiefs going home. But if the Chiefs win, the Bills go home, I'm cool with it. So I mean, yeah.
All right, so hold on, we was doing the draft, and since I stole this guy, so what I mean. Definitely got to talk about this guy. I said, oh, he ain't gonna put Lad McCunkley on his list. All right, I'll
Nah,
take
because
Lad.
everybody know about Lad already, so I ain't really want to put him on there, man.
They don't know enough about Lad, man. You could have gave him some insight, man, but I give him some insight. So Lad McCunkley, wide receiver, Georgia, 6 foot, 185 pounds. I think to me, I don't like people have been saying like Wes Welker, El Mendola. They comparing it to all that. I think they right and wrong, right? Because he has the quick area, speed. But I think he can get downfield a little bit better than those guys. I think he can give you a little bit bigger routes than maybe a Wes Welker and you really seen those guys do. They did it, but not as much. Lad McCunkley got some good route running in the intermediate, but he also can get deep. He actually has some abilities to get open. To me, his amount of usage in college and his amount of games played might be a problem. Um, he's also 6 foot, 185 pounds, but he played bigger than that. Um, he not the fastest either. He not really that fast, but he's quick. And sometimes you need that burst of speed in short intermediate areas more than you need the top end speed. So Lad McCunkley is a good risk. I think he's about a fourth round pick. Maybe you can get him in the late third. But I can also see Lad slipping to somebody and somehow being like that fifth round hero too, Mick.
It's funny you say that, man, because like I've done a lot of mocks in a lot of different spaces. I've done mocks on my own, and a lot of these mocks Lag going in the first and second round. Like he's not going in the fourth at all. Like, I don't know if that's just the simulation they got him high because he went to Georgia and whatever, but he getting drafted pretty high. Like I would not draft Lad McConkey in the first round. I'm sorry. Like I mean Lad my guy. I've been cheering for him for a long time, a couple years now. But I ain't drafting Lad in the first or second, man. If
I'm
I
saying
mean,
me looking at the tape, I see third is a blessing for him. Fourth is a blessing for the team. Me, when I look at the team.
I feel you. Like I'm just telling you. Like I've done a couple mocks and he's been going first, second. I just wouldn't draft him there. I mean, he's a solid wide receiver. He's got a lot of solid skills. And I like Lat. I mean, like Lat is a smart player. But it just depends when you're getting them. Like if you're getting them in the third, fourth, or fifth round, then yeah, hell yeah. But if you got to draft him in the first or second, I just feel like there's other guys in this draft at the wide receiver position that are just going to be better pros than him. That's just the way I feel.
All right, so who you had? Oh, you had Tavondre Sweat.
What? Yeah, see, I wanted to go D line because I ain't have no D lineman. I mean, that's a position that I played when I played football was D line. So I had to, I decided to throw one of them guys in there. As you can see from his measurables, man, this is a big dude, bro. He's 6'4", 360. He's a big dude now. Like he's huge. Pause. Now the one important thing to say is that even though he's got a tall frame, like his pad level is still good for him playing on the D line. So I mean, like it allows him to use his natural power to push the pocket with the bull rush. That's typically what he does. He's more of a, he could play on the D line. He could play inside and outside. Like he's got the leverage, at the point of attack to do both. So I mean that's another positive for him. And like obviously with him being 360, like he's got excellent like strength in his arms and stuff like that. So if he's playing on the inside, like he can handle centers and guards. Pretty well. I guess those are most of his strengths. I mean, he's got other strengths, but I'll leave it at that. Some of his weaknesses is like he's a bit raw. So like if you draft him, you're gonna need to be able to develop him and his moves. Like his bull rush is great, but he needs to develop more moves like a swim move or something like a rip and pull move, like things like that. Like he's gonna need to develop more. So even though at Texas he was really good,
That seems to be the norm with those Texas D linemen. Because I took Moro Ojomo last year.
okay.
Same problem. Like he got a bull rush. He really ain't got no bag after the bull rush. Like,
Yeah,
nothing there.
That's kind of what it is with him. Like Sweat is more of like a straight line mover. And he also like kind of leaves what you're saying. Like he tends to struggle getting off blocks at times. And I just think that's a factor of him just being so raw. And I just think that if you go to the right coaching staff where they can coach him up, and they can teach him to be more technical, then I think he'll be fine. And I got him as a second or a third round. You'd be lucky if you get to the third, but I got him as, because of his strength and his height and his size, I think he's going to go somewhere in the second to early third.
All right, so I don't really know much about Tavondre. I ain't really get to look at none of his tape. I do got a guy that's going to stand up on the other side. Jordan Morgan, offensive tackle, Arizona. And this is a big behemoth too, man. 6 foot, 325, man. Jesus Christ. He's not the greatest run blocker, but he can run block. He can get out there. He can do a few things. He's more of a pass blocking offensive tackle, but he's also a little raw. He's gonna need a little work. He's gonna need a little molding. That's what he's gonna need, man. He gonna need a little bit put together. He's gonna need to be put together a little bit. He got some nice footwork. He can fit a good team. I liked him because I was looking at a lot of teams and realizing a lot of these tackles are getting old. And if you bring in a guy like Jordan Morgan, you get an opportunity to possibly sit him behind somebody that's advanced and able to teach him and bring him along. You got an opportunity to have a pretty good offensive tackle, man. I think it's a lot of good tackles in this draft. It's pretty deep. But Jordan Morgan is the outlier, man, and I know he go to Arizona, so he won't get all the love or the glitz and glamour of where he came from. But he is a pretty good offensive tackle, man. He is serviceable. I think you can get him in the second round because I think it's going to be so many other tackles and guards and other positions that's going to go in the first. But people do have him going in the first round. But I think he will possibly slide to the second round. You be able to pick up a steal for your team out. So.
Yeah, I think it just depends. It depends, like, because obviously, like Fashanu and Joe Alt, they probably both of them guys probably going top 10, top 12. And it just depends, like the teams in the 20s, like if they need tackles, are they willing to spend the capital in them 20s to draft these guys? Because it's funny, like this draft is heavy on the quarterbacks, heavy on the wide receivers, and heavy on the tackles. So
I think even if you miss Jordan Morgan, it's still some tackles out there.
oh yeah, I mean,
Still some
and you
tackles.
miss him. They got the kid, what, Karen from Yale.
Bergeron.
Yeah, they got him. They got Patrick Paul I think he's out of Kansas. They got him. I mean, like, so like if you miss
What's the one out of Kentucky?
what's his name? I know who you're talking about. I just don't remember what his name was.
It started with a K.
Shit,
Kennard.
Kennard sounds familiar. Hold on.
Darian Kennard.
Oh, Darren Kennard. Yeah, I think it's going to be a later pick because I mean we like we skipped over a lot of people, like like Talise Fuaga. He got an Oregon State. You got him.
Yeah.
You got J.C. Latham out of Bama. You got Amarius Mims out of Georgia. The guy you were just talking about, Jordan Morgan, that's him. You got Troy Fatanu out of Washington. I think he's more of a guard, though. He's not really. I don't think he's going to be a tackle in the league because I think his arms are short. So if you're drafting Troy for Fatanu, you're drafting to be a guard and not a tackle. And then you got the kid out of Duke. You got Graham Barton. You got Taylor Guyton out of Oklahoma.
Jesus Christ! Oh
Patrick,
yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy I
that's
like
the guy,
too.
Guyton. Yeah, he's good too.
I like Guyton.
And then you got Patrick Paul out of Houston. And then the guy I was talking about, you got Kieran out of Yale. Like, there's legit about a good 10 tackles. Now, I listed all these names. They all ain't going to be left tackles. I mean, like, some of these guys are right tackles, but there's a lot of
Some will
tackles.
end up being guards, too. Some will end up being
Yeah,
guards.
I mean, a couple of those guys are going to end up being guards. Like, most of these guys are tackles, though. I mean, with the exception of the guy out of Washington. Like I said, his arms are short. So he's projected to be a guard. But like I said, like most years, if you don't have like a top 10, 15 pick, you're not going to get like an elite tackle. This is not one of them years. Like there's a good amount coming out. So even if you don't have a top 10 pick, you still might be able to get one in the 20s. Or you might even be able to get one in the second or the third round. So
I got a feeling my team is going to go. This is what I want. Cornerback, linebacker, either running back or right tackle replacement, and then whichever one you don't go with it in the second round, because we got 2 seconds. So if it's running back or right tackle, you take running back in the second if it's the guy there that you think won't slide to the third. Because you really don't need the right tackle right this moment. Whoever it is going to be coming in, working with Stoutland, working with Lane Johnson for probably another year, maybe 2. So you don't really have to, risk the high draft capital. So that's kind of where I'm at with my team, Mick. I do want them to get a wide receiver 3. I would love to see them get a wide receiver 3, but I don't think they would risk getting it anytime early. I'm pretty sure if we go get a wide receiver, it'll probably be a 4th round or a 5th round guy, UDFA, if not free agency. I'm pretty sure we probably won't draft a wide receiver.
I mean, you could get a good wide receiver between rounds 2 and 4, though. You don't got to get in the second round. You say you need line. My only issue with this draft is the linebacker. If we're not talking about edges, you're just talking about pure linebacker. It's not a strong class for that.
I'm taking JT if I can get him.
With Jeremy Trotter Jr.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably I think he's ranked the second best linebacker in the draft. I think the kid out of A&M is graded higher than he is right now.
I did a lot of the little mocks on PFF and the other one, the mock draft simulator.
Yeah.
He falls to the second round, to my first second round pick. But every time I skip him on that first, second round pick, he'll never make it to the second one. I be like, you nasty, man.
Well,
I'm like, bruh.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not a strong linebacker draft. Like, that's why I say I don't think the edges will get drafted in the first round, but I don't think the pure linebackers. I think the earliest they go is second round. And I just wouldn't force it, man. Like, like I said, this class not as good as the class was last year, the year before. So I mean, if you need something in the first round, I would go tackle first, and then I probably go linebacker because I think you guys got 2 second-round picks.
Yeah, we
So
got
I mean,
two,
and you can
and then we
conceivably go
get
corner.
and then we getting a compensatory for
What a Hargraves?
yeah, Hargrave third round. So we'll have 2/3 too. We don't have a fourth round pick though.
Well, yeah, but
Or
you got what 2 seconds and a third. So I mean,
I think we
and
have. I think when they give you the compensatory, I think we'll have 2/3 if I'm not
oh,
mistaken.
so you got 2 seconds and 2/3. You'll be all right if you don't get a fourth, man. I
I
think
don't
you'll
think
be.
I got a fourth. I don't think I have a fourth or a fifth, if I'm
Oh,
not
okay.
mistaken. But I know Howie Roseman. He'll finagle something. He'll end up back in one of those rounds. He
Oh,
won't go 2 rounds on his hands. But we traded the fourth for Swift, and we traded the fifth for Kevin Byard.
I mean, that's not bad though. I mean, like you look at it like you got Swift for a fourth. As long as you re-sign him, he there for more than 1 year. I mean, it's worth it. I mean, you should use
Yeah,
him more, but I mean, his
yeah.
talent is worth that 4th round pick.
He wants to stay. Is he said he wants to stay. He said he wants the opportunity to stay. But it's all about money, man. I mean, at the end of the day, nobody's gonna stay for free. So the numbers got to work out for the best for him. I think I was telling people I think we should sign him to a 3-year, $25 million deal, um, with something like 13 or 14 guaranteed. So it's really a 2-year deal. You paying him at somewhere about six million a year. Last year probably gonna be somewhere the cap hit about 13, but you restructure if you're working out. He never sees the 13, but I think 6 a year, 6 a year base salary with something about one to $1.5 million in incentives. You give him about 8.5, so you send somewhere decent.
I mean, it sounds like a solid deal for. I mean, like running backs ain't really getting paid that much anyway, so I mean, it sounds like a solid deal.
I like the numbers, man. See, I told you this is my favorite time of year. I get to talk about them numbers, but I can talk about some contracts. Like they literally, if you want to be funny, right? I could go back to my old video, Mick, and give you my video for my prediction of what we should have paid Jalen Hurts, and they literally split it in half and gave him the exact deal.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, like this time, like once the Super Bowl's over, like this is when you really gotta kind of be able to evaluate talent through the draft and through free agency and in your own players. I mean, I mean, watching. Don't get me wrong, like watching football is great, but like this is the part of the year where you really know who are really football people. Like, I mean, like watching football easy to do, but like when you got to evaluate free agents, your own player is about to be a free agent or like draft picks. Like this is, I mean, like this to me is the fun part of the year. So
Yeah, man. It's interesting, man, because I mean, you still got teams fighting for their life. Kicker one on. You know what I'm saying? He getting the opportunity to go to an AFC Championship game if he could pull off the win. I mean, this would be the first time they hosted a championship game since 1971. You know what I mean? So like, even though they have 2 Super Bowls, I mean, this is history.
yeah, I mean,
You
true
know what I
that.
mean? Every year is history, man. So
I ain't gonna
it's
lie, boy. I'm getting hot now, but I gotta, you feel me?
Nah, you better bundle up, man, before you be sick. The
Oh,
hell?
oh, oh, oh. You better trust and believe I am. It was
I'd rather be
waiting on,
hot in the
I ain't
house
gonna
than
lie, I'm
be.
really waiting on my mans to come get me. But I got the heat bumping in here, and I don't really want to have all this shit on. Then I start sweating. You feel me? So I'm trying to put like layers and layers on each like 5 minutes, so I know he about to pull up.
You finna pull up to the game now, huh? Kick it.
We gotta get there for
Huh?
the tailgate, man.
You finna go tailgate?
Yeah, I'm about to go tailgate. Talk to couple fans want to come holler at me and shit, take pictures and shit. And then wait for the gate. Well, the gates open up at 2:30. So as soon as shit, time be flying. You feel me? And I do
Nah, it's 12
realize that
o'clock,
shit,
man.
yo,
two
time be
thirty ain't
flying. Be too
close.
much shit to do. You feel me? So I like to get there early, try to knock a lot of that shit out the way.
Yeah, 2:30 ain't far away, man. It's only like 2 hours, really. By the time you get out there, get situated, really get the grooving, it's 1 o'clock. It's 1:30.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact.
By the time you make your first rounds, holler at all the people you supposed to holler at, it's 2:30. Boom, you rocking inside, man. It don't take long.
Hey, trust and believe, man. I'm ready, man. Look, I got the purple. Look, I got the purple joints on. Got the insulated joint. Hey, I'm ready. I got a little bit of Patron. I'm trying to. Is this the Patron? Got a little bit of Patron. That's all I probably need for the day, yo. I ain't trying to be too drunk, yo.
No, you just want to get enough so you don't feel the cold.
Goggles on, ready to go to war. Hey, Ravens hand warm. I'm prepared, man.
Hey man, us three on here, man. We all play in cold states. That's crazy, man. We all gotta be prepared.
Hey, look, I ain't gonna lie, yo. What y'all think? Yo, I was thinking about doing some shit like this, right? With the mask, you feel me? And then throw the goggles on that bitch like this. You feel me? On the I can't even see.
I was about to say, are you gonna be able to see
like that?
Can you see?
Yeah, I can see.
Oh, okay. Nah, but they no kicker, man. You can't put the mask on, man. They gonna be wondering what kicker at.
I mean, I would do it though. I'm gonna just show my face though, cause I might start. That shit start. I mean, I ain't gonna lie though. Hot ass breath. That shit will help though. You. Bro, that shit will help. But yeah, man, I feel like it's gonna be a good game, man. I ain't really doing too much more talking.
Yeah, Sly. Winter teams are supreme, man. Like it's nothing like playing in cold weather. I don't know if I could cheer for a hot weather team, man. Like Florida State, cool.
Yo, can't even find my other club.
They don't really J-Man, they don't really play in the winter time anyways. Like college football, really, when it's the grit of the cold, they kind of be over with.
Yeah, I was gonna say only schools that play in the cold is like the Big Ten. I mean, maybe the Big Ten and some of the schools in the Big 12. That's it. I mean, the rest of them
everybody else play
warm weather. So,
but my football team, NFL, gotta play in the elements, man. I don't even think I could. Honest to God, truth, I don't even think I could. I don't even think I would be happy with a dome team.
I mean, I see that point of view. I don't know. Like, I ain't really had to worry about it because I mean, like, we up in New England, so I mean, like, we play outside. We don't.
If I really get cold, if I really get cold, I got this too. I wear. Yeah, I'm gonna just bring this in case.
Well, that boy gonna he gonna be prepared.
Hey, bro. When I went to Cincinnati last year, it wasn't as cold as I thought it was gonna be, but I still came prepared. You feel me, bro? I woke up the next morning, bro, like hand warmer, still warm as shit. Like that shit was crazy. But I'd rather be more prepared than unprepared. You feel me?
Always.
Cause you know how that shit is, but once you out there, bro, your feet start getting cold. You start getting a little irritated. You feel me? It ain't shit you can do about it.
Mm-hmm. Cause you out there now. It ain't like you can leave and go home and go get you a hand warmer or something.
Oh. Got these on deck. I ain't gonna open them up yet. Though. I probably don't open them up till like I get to the state. Like you feel me? Till I know it's about to be game time.
Damn, it's about to be cold out there, boy. Shit.
Freezing. And that boy got everything.
I mean,
them little passes, the heat things, right? You open them and put them in, they get hot.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be because once you in the stadium, like unless you plan on leaving the stadium, there's nothing you can really do. Like you just stuck in that cold.
True.
Yeah, we talking toe warmers, yes sir. Yeah, hey, yo. See, yo. That's why a certified team gonna lose today, because his ass ain't come on the show. I said, man, let me at least show my face, because I like the Packers this week.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of that. Like a lot of people like the Packers. Not just plus the 10, but the money line. So,
what you think, J-Man?
I mean, I'm taking the Packers plus the 10. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I don't know if they have the horses on defense to stop the 49ers, man. Like, the Packers
Right.
defense ain't, their linebackers ain't the greatest. So that'd be my concern against CMC and Kittle. Like, that might be that might be the Green Bay downfall.
It could happen though, man. I ain't sleep on Jordan Love. Then them boys been playing pretty good though.
Oh yeah, it's possible. Like I think some 49er fans is like, oh, it's no way possible. I'm like, bro, there's a reason why they went into Dallas and beat Dallas. Like Dallas ain't the greatest team, but they're not the worst team either. So to go and they building and win where they ain't lost, that says a lot to me.
Yeah, it could get ugly, man. I mean, I don't know. I think the Packers could cover, but it could be a situation. They could go get blowed out too, man. I mean, it's all open, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ready for football though. I ain't gonna lie. My team ain't playing, but I guess I get to watch stress-free football. I get to see how Jay Mick felt for the last 8 or 9 weeks.
That's what I said, man. Stress-free.
And what game, brother? Hold on. Which game, brother?
I'm talking about. So who you want to win the Super Bowl? You ride with us? You ride with us, right?
Yeah, man. I guess I gotta ride with the Raven, man. I mean, it's a bird. It's the only other bird left. So birds of a feather flock together.
Right.
So I gotta ride with a bird, man.
That's right. Smart man.
Who you riding with, Mick?
First of all, I can't ride with the Ravens, man. I mean, like, we have a rivalry with the Ravens, man. So that's just not gonna happen. I mean, I normally, like, when my team ain't in it, man, I normally cheer for the teams that ain't won Super Bowls, man. Like teams like the Texans or the Lions, like teams like that ain't never won none of the. Well, I ain't gonna ride with the Bills, man. That's just a division, folks. I really can't do that. But yeah, like teams that ain't never won, man. Like I be riding with them teams. Well, not riding with them, but I'd be kind of hoping that they win. Because the only team I ride with is the Patriots. But
I kind of felt like that too, Mick. I was like, dang, I only got one. Do I really want somebody that ain't got one to get one? Now you in the same boat as me?
Yeah, but they're not in your division though. The Bills is like a conflict. I can't cheer for the Bills, man. They're in my division.
No, I don't want to. I ain't gonna lie. I don't want to see the Bills get one.
I mean, the only team that I would be against is it's not even. I don't even hate the Niners as a team, but you understand the way they fans gonna act on that app for the whole summer. I mean, it's gonna be nasty work, and I just hope for the niggas that's in the NFC that y'all prepared for that, because the shit gonna be nasty.
Yeah, but do you know what I have to deal with if Detroit win one?
What, there's like 5 Detroit fans on the whole app, maybe 10 at the most.
Nah, they're gonna invade the app. You're gonna see people that never was on the app before come out of nowhere. The Detroit fan base is gonna rise up. I don't want that. I need them to stay in poverty.
Yeah, but I got family in Detroit that Lions fans. So I mean, the Lions winning wouldn't really, it wouldn't bother me that much. Cause when I say them niggas, they've been suffering their whole life. Literally, they whole like literally, used to go up there on Thanksgiving and they used to watch them games and be just depressed on Thanksgiving because the team would always lose on Thanksgiving. I mean, their team even lost this year on Thanksgiving. So, but yeah, them or the Texans or it just wouldn't bother me. Like them teams ain't never won nothing. I mean, the story for the Texans would be crazy though. Like to have a rookie head coach, rookie quarterback, and they won the Super Bowl, like that shit ain't really supposed to happen. So. But I mean, we'll see how today falls out though.
The Texans wouldn't bother me, but I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can even get out of this round right here, man.
I mean, they got a tough road, man. Like they'd have to beat the Ravens and they have to beat the Chiefs or the Bills. And then if they do that, they'd have to beat the 49ers, the Lions, the Bucks, or the Packers. That ain't an easy road to accomplish. So it'd be tough.
True. That's a long path to the Super Bowl, man. You got to go through you got to fight. Like I just seen somebody say like the Niners got the easiest route to the Super Bowl. Like,
I don't necessarily agree with that though. Like I don't agree that it's easy because you're facing a Packers team that's on a heater. Let's say you win that game, then you either got to play the Lions or the Bucks. I think the Lions are going to win. So you'd have to play a really offensively minded team. And then if you get past that, then you either got to play the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Bills, or the Texans. I don't know how easy that is. They don't sound that easy to me.
Yeah, they say it though, and I'm looking at it like I don't think no team that has to play to get to the Super Bowl and win it got an easy route.
Yeah. And then I mean, the other thing is this season been so unpredictable. Like there really ain't no like you may think a game is easy, and then you get into the game, it's not easy. So
I mean, Dallas had an alley-oop and missed the dunk wide open.
yeah, but I had them losing in the divisional round anyways. I didn't think that they were going to be able to beat the Lions again. The Lions should have beat them the first time. So I mean, I always
I
had
ain't
the
gonna lie, I
Cowboys.
took the Packers plus the points, but I really didn't think it was gonna hit.
But I mean,
I took the Packers plus the point, but I didn't think it was gonna hit.
But the Cowboys really losing that really surprising. They ain't been to a NFC Championship game since I was like a little kid, like in the 90s. So
95.
it ain't that surprising. I mean, that's why every year I'd be having them going out in the divisional round because they just they gonna have to prove it to me first.
It don't look like they're gonna be proving much of anything, Mick.
Nope.
They stuck with Mike McCarthy.
Nah, not at all.
It look like they regressing, man. And I mean, they're gonna be stuck with that because he's like a $60 million cap hit. I mean, you can't really get off that.
But I wonder what happens when like Dan Quinn leaves. Like how is that defense gonna be? That's my question. Are they gonna be the same?
Who you gonna bring in to hold up what you looking for out of
yo, I'm gonna get up with y'all later, yo.
All right. Good luck, man.
Good luck, bro.
But so what I heard is if Dan Quinn leaves, then they're gonna elevate the
Al
quarterback.
Harris?
Yeah, Al Harris. That's what I've been hearing. But the problem is Al Harris ain't never been a DC before. Like I know he played the game.
Never.
He played the game at a high level, and he's coaching the position that he played. So I don't know. Like I just see that defense. If Dan Quinn leaves, I see their defense
taking a step back.
Yeah, I mean Diggs is gonna come back. I mean, Diggs is gonna come back, but I don't know if Gilly coming back because I think Gilly they traded for him. He was only on a 1-year deal.
Can you bring Gilmore back after what Bland has done this year?
I mean, of course you can, and if you bring him back, then you're gonna have 3 really good quarterbacks.
Yeah, but who is their slot?
I mean, Bland is supposed to play the slot. That's who's supposed to play it. But
I think he done got moved out of the slot. He done with that.
He got moved because Diggs is hurt. But once Diggs comes back, I mean, I wouldn't mind having him in the slot. He's actually better in the slot than as a boundary corner. I mean, just imagine having Gilly, Diggs, and Bland as your 3 cornerbacks on the field like that. I mean, say you run like a 4-2-5. That just sounds crazy.
True.
But yeah.
Well, man, we done got to the hour and 50-minute mark, man. We want to thank everybody for popping out, man, and showing us support. It's 2 of us left on this panel, man. That's in the playoffs, man. Maybe next week it'll be still 2, or it could be 0, could be 1. But we'll find out next Saturday, man. Anything for the people, Mick?
Nah, man. Just enjoy football on a Saturday and a Sunday, man. And football. I mean, like we be complaining about the bad football games and all that, but man, football coming to an end. So man, just let me try to enjoy it. That's all, man.
Hey, man. Well, until the next time, from me, J Mick, Kicker, Certified. Peace.